Welcome back to my channel Rare Coins Shop. If you love discovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. First, we're revealing some coins that could be worth way more than you think. Stick around to find out. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We're about to dive into a fascinating piece of American history that you might just have lying around in your collection or, even better, in a jar of loose change. Yes, we're talking about the United States Liberty 1-cent coin from 1967. This little copper coin may seem like just another penny, but trust me, it holds a story and value that many people overlook. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to be amazed at just how much a 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin can really be worth. Now, let's set the scene. It's 1967. The United States was in the midst of a vibrant decade of change. The country was coming out of the 1960s tumultuous political climate, yet it was also a time of cultural transformation, including the civil rights movement and the rise of counterculture. Amidst all this, coins were still being minted to circulate, and that brings us to the 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin. The 1967 penny, like many before it, was part of the ongoing series featuring the famous design of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This coin was minted during a time when the country was experiencing significant political and economic shifts. In fact, 1967 was just 2 years before the U.S. made the decision to stop producing silver coins, marking an end to the era of silver in everyday currency. While the penny itself was still made of copper, its design remained a nod to American history and heritage. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but it's just a penny. What makes the 1967 penny worth anything? Well, the truth is, while the 1967 penny might look like every other penny produced around that time, it has something special that sets it apart: its rarity and condition. Coins from the 1960s were minted in high quantities and circulated widely, and most of the dimes, quarters, and pennies from that era have been heavily used. But here's the catch: certain coins, especially those in exceptional condition, are highly sought after by collectors. And when it comes to the 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin, finding one in near-perfect or uncirculated condition is quite rare. Most of these pennies were circulated and show signs of wear and tear, so if you happen to have one that's still in excellent condition, you could be holding on to something worth far more than just 1 cent. So, what makes this penny so valuable? The condition, of course, is key. The 1967 penny was minted in high numbers, but over time, they've been lost, used, and worn down. However, some pennies were either stored carefully or never circulated at all, and these pristine specimens are now incredibly rare. The value of any coin is directly tied to how well it's been preserved. The more well-preserved the coin, the more valuable it becomes to collectors, but that's not all. The 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin has something else that could increase its worth: minting errors. Occasionally, during the production of coins, the U.S. Mint makes mistakes. These errors might be subtle, like misaligned dies, or they could be more dramatic, such as double strikes or off-center coins. These minting errors make the coin unique and are a huge draw for collectors. If you happen to have a 1967 penny with an error, whether it's a double die or a misstrike, it could be worth far more than its typical value. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1967 penny. The obverse, front, of the coin features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face is depicted with a dignified expression, facing left. Around the portrait are the words "Liberty" at the top, and "In God We Trust" to the right, along with the year of mintage, 1967, just below Lincoln's bust. The design is simple yet powerful, and it has become one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. On the reverse side, we see the famous image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The memorial is beautifully depicted, with intricate detail showing the columns and the steps leading up to the structure. At the top, you'll find the words "E pluribus unum," out of many, one, and just below the memorial, the denomination, 1 cent, is clearly marked. The reverse design reflects the strength of American ideals and honors Lincoln's legacy, making it a truly iconic piece of American coinage. Now, let's get down to the exciting part. How much could this 1967 penny be worth? While most of these coins might only be worth a few cents in their worn condition, the value of an uncirculated or high-grade 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin can be worth significantly more. As we've discussed, rare, well-preserved coins are always in demand by collectors, and the 1967 penny is no exception. If you happen to have a 1967 penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, or if you find one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin that's worth much more than you might think. The 1967 Liberty 1-cent coin in excellent condition could be valued at an impressive $100,000, yes, you heard that right, $100,000 for a single penny. While this might not apply to every 1967 penny out there, if you're lucky enough to have one in pristine condition or with a unique minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, next time you're going through your change or digging through your coin collection, make sure you take a good look at any 1967 pennies you come across. Examine their condition carefully, look for any signs of minting errors or for one that has been kept in great shape. If you're not sure, it might be worth getting the coin professionally appraised. Who knows, you might just have a valuable treasure hidden in your collection. Second rare coin, we're diving into something really exciting. If you're a coin collector or just someone who stumbled upon an old penny in your pocket change, this video is for you. Today, we're exploring the United States of America Liberty 1-cent coin from 1973, minted in Denver with the D mint mark. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, how valuable could it be? Well, hold on to your seats, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much a 1973 D penny can be worth. Trust me, this small coin packs a punch in the world of coin collecting. Let's start by taking a look at the history behind the 1973 penny. The Liberty 1-cent coin, which we all know and recognize, has been in circulation for over a century. The design of the coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln, has remained unchanged since 1909, and it is one of the most iconic and recognized coin designs in the United States. The portrait of Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner, has graced the penny for generations, and every year, collectors look forward to discovering which pennies might carry hidden treasures. In 1973, the U.S. Mint was in full swing, continuing to produce millions of pennies to meet the demands of everyday commerce. The 1973 penny, like most of its counterparts from this era, was struck from copper and used in regular transactions. At the time, the country was going through some interesting economic changes, and the United States Mint was busy creating coins to keep up with inflation and a growing economy. Now, fast forward to today, and we're starting to see how the value of certain coins from the 1970s has surged. The 1973 penny, especially those minted in Denver with the D mint mark, is one of those coins that has gained attention in recent years. Why? Well, as with many other coins, the condition in which it has been preserved plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins from this era were produced in massive quantities, and most of them circulated widely, seeing daily use and wear. That means most 1973 pennies are heavily worn, discolored, and damaged from constant handling and spending. But, here's where it gets interesting: the few pennies that were well preserved, stored carefully, or simply never spent, have become extremely valuable to collectors. What really drives the price of a 1973 D Liberty 1-cent coin? The key factors are rarity, condition, and any possible minting errors. Let's break it down. Firstly, the 1973 D penny was minted in large quantities. Millions of them were made to meet the needs of everyday currency. However, over time, most of them were used in transactions, leading to scratches, discoloration, and signs of wear. Finding one that has remained in near-perfect, uncirculated condition is incredibly rare. The value of coins, especially pennies, can skyrocket when they have been kept in pristine condition. These well-preserved coins are considered treasures in the coin-collecting world. Secondly, let's talk about minting errors. Every once in a while, the U.S. Mint makes a mistake during the coin-making process. These errors can range from slight misalignments to more extreme issues like double strikes or off-center designs. And these errors? They are highly coveted by collectors because they make the coin unique. A minting error can turn a regular penny into a rare and valuable item. If you have a 1973 D penny with any sort of minting flaw, you might be holding onto a coin worth much more than just 1 cent. Let's take a moment to look at the design of the 1973 penny. The obverse, front, of the coin features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Brenner, with the words, "In God We Trust," inscribed to the left, "Liberty" above, and the year, 1973, below. You'll also see the mint mark, D, under the date, indicating that this coin was minted in Denver. On the reverse side, the coin showcases the image of the Lincoln Memorial. This beautiful design, also by Brenner, depicts the grand columns and steps of the memorial in stunning detail. You'll see the inscription, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, above the memorial, and 1 cent at the bottom. The reverse side reflects American values of unity and strength, which is why it's such an iconic design. Now, let's talk about the exciting part, the value of this coin. While most 1973 D pennies in circulation are worth only 1 cent, the value can change drastically if the coin is in exceptional condition. A 1973 D penny that is well preserved, or better yet, uncirculated, can be worth a substantial amount of money. But that's not all. If you happen to find a 1973 D penny with a minting error, the value could be even higher. So, here's the big reveal. A 1973 D Liberty 1 cent coin in excellent, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, could be worth an incredible $88,000. Yes, you heard that right, $88,000 for a single penny. That's the kind of value that an uncirculated coin or a coin with a minting error can reach in today's market. Of course, not every 1973 D penny will be worth this much, but if you happen to have one in great condition, or a rare error, you could be holding on to a small fortune. So, what should you do if you think you might have a valuable 1973 D penny? First, examine its condition carefully. Look for any signs of wear, discoloration, or damage. If it's still shiny and in great shape, it might be worth getting appraised by a professional coin dealer. You never know, you could be sitting on a rare and valuable coin. Third, expensive coin. We're diving into a piece of American history that might just be hiding in your change jar or in that old coin collection gathering dust in your attic. That's right, today we're going to explore the United States Liberty 1 cent coin from 1980, minted in Denver with the D mint mark. Now, at first glance, this may seem like just another penny, but believe me, there's much more to this small coin than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at the value a 1980 D penny can have. Let's rewind to 1980. It was a time of significant change in the United States. The country was navigating through a period of economic uncertainty with high inflation rates, rising unemployment, and energy crises. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins that would continue to circulate across the country. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin was just one of many coins minted during this era, but as time has passed, it has turned out to be much more than just a standard penny. The design of the 1980 penny, like other pennies of the time, features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, front, was designed by Victor David Brenner and has remained unchanged since it was first introduced in 1909. His image is framed by the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the year, 1980, just below his bust. It's a design that has stood the test of time and continues to represent the nation's ideals of freedom and unity. Now, here's the twist. While most pennies are minted in large numbers and end up circulating through daily commerce, over time, a few rare examples from any given year can become valuable. The 1980 D Liberty 1 cent coin is one of those pennies that has caught the attention of collectors in recent years. But what makes it so special? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the occasional minting error. Coins from the 1980s were minted in vast quantities, and most of them were used and circulated in the everyday transactions of American citizens. However, over time, most of these coins have been worn down from frequent handling, leaving behind a worn-out penny with little more value than its face value of 1 cent. But, and here's the exciting part, if you happen to find a 1980 penny that has been preserved in pristine condition, you could have a very valuable coin on your hands. Coins that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition are considered rare finds in the coin collecting world. When a coin has been protected from the elements, from wear, or from being tossed into a cash register or change jar, it maintains its original beauty and shine, making it much more valuable to collectors. An uncirculated 1980 penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, it could fetch you a pretty penny, as they say, but that's not all. Minting errors can also make a coin much more valuable. Occasionally, the U.S. Mint makes mistakes during the production process. These errors could range from simple misalignments, to more striking issues like double strikes, off-center impressions, or incorrect lettering. Collectors highly value error coins because they are unique. If you come across a 1980 penny that has one of these errors, you may be holding a coin that's worth far more than its typical counterpart. Let's take a moment to appreciate the intricate design of this penny. The obverse features Lincoln's famous profile, with the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" inscribed around the top and sides. The year 1980 sits just below Lincoln's bust, with the mint mark D to the right, signifying that it was minted in Denver. It's a simple design but one that carries a lot of meaning and history. On the reverse side, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a national symbol of the country's dedication to its leaders and ideals. The memorial is depicted in stunning detail, showcasing its columns and steps. At the top of the coin, you'll see the inscription E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, representing the unity of the United States. Below the memorial, you'll find the denomination 1 cent, clearly marking the value of the coin. This reverse design not only reflects Lincoln's legacy but also symbolizes the strength and unity of the United States. Now, the big question: how much could your 1980 penny be worth? As we mentioned earlier, most pennies from 1980 will only be worth a few cents, especially if they've been circulated and worn over time. However, if you've managed to find a 1980 penny in uncirculated condition, or if it has a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. The value of such a coin can skyrocket, with well-preserved examples and error coins reaching impressive prices. So, what's the exact value of a 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin in top condition? If you have a coin that's in excellent, uncirculated condition or one with a unique minting error, it could be worth an astounding $50,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $50,000 for a single 1980 penny. That's the kind of value that an uncirculated coin or an error coin can reach in today's coin market. Of course, not every 1980 penny will be worth this much, but if you've got one in pristine shape or with a minting flaw, it could be worth a small fortune. If you think you might have a valuable 1980 penny, be sure to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration that would indicate it's been used. But if your penny is shiny and in great condition, or if you notice any strange markings or errors, it might be worth having it professionally appraised. It could very well be the valuable coin you've been searching for. Now, we're diving into something that might just change the way you look at your spare change. We're going to explore a coin that, for many, might seem like just another penny, until you realize its hidden value. That's right, today we're talking about the United States Liberty 1 cent coin from 1971. If you're thinking it's just a typical penny, think again. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll see just how much this small piece of history could be worth. Let's rewind to 1971. The US was in the middle of a decade of change. The country was transitioning in many ways, socially, politically, and economically. It was a time of transformation, and the U.S. Mint was working hard to produce coins to keep up with a growing economy. 1971 marked a year when the United States Mint produced millions of pennies, including the famous 1971 Liberty 1 cent coin. But what makes this coin stand out and attract the attention of collectors? The answer lies in the condition of the coin and the rarity of well-preserved examples. The design of the 1971 penny, just like the years before it, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse side of the coin shows the image of Lincoln in profile, with the words, "In God We Trust," at the top, Liberty, inscribed to the left, and the year, 1971, clearly visible below. If you look closely, you'll also find the mint mark indicating where it was minted. While the design remained unchanged for years, the significance of the coin became more apparent as time passed. Now, let's take a look at the history behind the penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has remained one of the most beloved and recognizable coins in American history. While the design has largely remained unchanged, the economic conditions surrounding the minting of these pennies have evolved dramatically. By the time the 1971 penny was struck, the U.S. was in the midst of rising inflation and economic shifts. The 1971 penny is part of the era of copper pennies that were produced before the U.S. Mint shifted to zinc-coated copper in 1982. These copper pennies are highly valued by collectors due to their metal content and historical significance. The 1971 penny, in particular, holds a special place in the coin world for its unique combination of age, design, and rarity in excellent condition. Over the years, most of these pennies were spent and circulated, which means that they have seen wear and tear. So, what makes a 1971 Liberty 1-cent coin so valuable? It all comes down to condition. While millions of these coins were minted and spent, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. As with most coins, the value dramatically increases the better the condition. A 1971 penny that's been preserved in mint condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or any signs of heavy circulation, becomes a rare and coveted item for collectors. The rarity of uncirculated coins like this is what drives their value. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have been carefully stored or have somehow escaped the daily circulation process. These well-preserved coins are in high demand, which can lead to some surprising price tags for what would otherwise be considered a common penny, but there's more to this coin's appeal. In addition to pristine condition, certain errors can also make a 1971 penny worth far more than its face value. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to variations in the coin's design. These can range from minor flaws, such as misaligned die strikes, to more obvious issues like double strikes or off-center impressions. These error coins are especially valuable because they are unique, and they don't exist in large quantities. The 1971 penny is no exception. Some 1971 coins have been found with minting errors, making them even rarer and more valuable. If you come across a 1971 penny with a noticeable error, it could significantly increase its value. And, of course, the better the condition of the coin, the more sought after it becomes. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the design. The obverse side features Lincoln's profile in all its glory, surrounded by the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the year, 1971, placed below his portrait. The reverse side of the coin depicts the Lincoln Memorial, with its iconic columns and steps. The words "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," are inscribed above, and "1 cent" is clearly marked at the bottom. The Lincoln Memorial is a powerful symbol of unity and national pride, and its intricate design adds to the coin's appeal to collectors. Now, you might be wondering, how much can a 1971 penny actually be worth? Most of these coins are worth just 1 cent in everyday transactions. However, if you happen to have one in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, the value can rise dramatically. And if you've come across a rare minting error or an exceptionally well-preserved coin, you might be sitting on something much more valuable. Here's the exciting part: if you found a 1971 penny in top condition, or if you're lucky enough to have one with a minting error, it could be worth an incredible $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a single penny. You wouldn't believe how much value this small coin can hold, but it's true. The condition and any potential minting errors can make this coin one of the most sought-after pennies in the collector's world. If you think you might have a valuable 1971 penny, take the time to inspect it carefully. Look for any signs of wear or discoloration, as these can decrease its value. But if your coin is still shiny, well-preserved, and has avoided the heavy circulation most pennies go through, it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. If you suspect your coin might be rare, consider getting it appraised by a professional coin dealer to understand its true worth. Last unique coin, we're talking about the United States Liberty 1-cent coin from 1977. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny. After all, it's been in circulation for decades, but if you're a coin collector or someone with a keen eye for hidden treasures, you might just want to keep a close watch on this one. Let's take a trip back to 1977. The world was a lot different then. Disco fever was in full swing, Star Wars had just hit theaters, and the US was navigating its way through a post-Vietnam era. The economy was adjusting to the end of the 1970s recession, and inflation was on the rise. It was during this time that the US Mint was busy producing pennies for everyday use, including the 1977 Liberty 1-cent coin. The design of the 1977 penny is what you might expect, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been on the coin since 1909. On the obverse, you'll find Lincoln's profile, surrounded by the inscription, "In God We Trust," above, and "Liberty," to the left. Below Lincoln's portrait is the year, 1977, marking the exact year the coin was minted. There's also a mint mark to the right of Lincoln's portrait, which can tell us where the coin was struck, either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, but while the design remains constant, what makes the 1977 penny interesting is its historical context and rarity, especially when it comes to the condition of the coin. See, most coins that were produced in 1977 were quickly put into circulation, which means they were used, handled, and worn down over time. However, in the world of coin collecting, the condition of a coin is everything. The 1977 penny is no exception. While most of these pennies won't make you rich, there are a select few that have survived in near-perfect condition, and those are the ones that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. What makes the 1977 penny so unique is that it is part of a generation of coins made from copper, before the US Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. This gives the coin a distinct weight and feel compared to modern pennies. While it may not be as rare as some other coins from earlier years, a 1977 penny in uncirculated condition or with a unique minting error can be worth quite a bit of money. Let's take a closer look at the importance of condition. As with most coins, the value of a 1977 penny dramatically increases when it is in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and have been carefully preserved. If you happen to have a 1977 penny that has been kept in excellent shape, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, finding a 1977 penny in uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. Many of these pennies were used and circulated widely, leading to worn-down coins that are often found in poor condition. But if you have one that is still shiny and has avoided the usual wear and tear, you might just have something special. Uncirculated coins are hard to come by, and they can fetch much higher prices on the market, but wait, there's more. Minting errors can also play a significant role in a coin's value. During the minting process, sometimes mistakes happen, and these errors can result in coins that are highly coveted by collectors. Errors could include misaligned die strikes, off-center coins, double strikes, or even coins that feature incorrect letters or numbers. These types of mistakes make the coin more unique and collectible, driving up their value. If you happen to find a 1977 penny with a minting error, it could potentially make the coin even more valuable than a standard uncirculated one. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that feature errors because they are unique and cannot be replicated. A 1977 penny with one of these minting errors could be a gem in the eyes of collectors. Let's not forget the reverse design of the coin. On the back of the 1977 penny, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of the country's rich history. The memorial is beautifully detailed, showing off its columns, steps, and intricate design. The words "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," are inscribed along the top, reflecting the unity of the United States. Beneath the memorial, you'll see the denomination 1 cent, clearly marking the coin's value. This reverse design, like the obverse, has remained largely unchanged for many years, which adds to the appeal of this coin to collectors. Now, let's get to the fun part. If you're wondering how much a 1977 penny could actually be worth, the answer may surprise you. While most pennies from 1977 are still worth only 1 cent, a 1977 Liberty 1-cent coin in uncirculated condition or with a minting error can be worth a significant amount of money. A well-preserved, error-free coin could fetch a few $100s, but if it's in truly pristine condition or features a rare minting mistake, the value could reach much higher. So, how much could a 1977 penny be worth if you're lucky enough to find one in great condition? Well, if you have a 1977 penny that has been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition or one that has a rare minting error, you could be looking at a stunning $65,000. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a single 1977 penny. That's the kind of value a well-preserved or error coin can hold, making it one of the most sought-after pennies in the collecting world. So, the next time you come across a 1977 penny, take a moment to examine it closely. It might just be worth far more than you think, and that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you found this deep dive into the 1977 Liberty 1-cent coin fascinating. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more exciting discoveries about rare and valuable coins. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.